In this video, I wanted to show you the first few things that I do when I'm setting up a Google form when I'm going to use it as a quiz for my students. So I have a Google form up. First thing I do is I go to responses and I turn off accepting responses. I do not want that to show anything to anybody. If I make it available to the students, I don't want them to be able to take it at home on accident. And I typically type something interesting in here, like once you are in your seat and quiet, I will open up the assessment. Something like that. And then I will go to settings. I limit to one response. Sometimes it's up to you. And always make sure these two are off. I do not want them to be able to edit after they submit. And I do not want them to be able to see summary charts or text responses. That's important because if students take the quiz now and then maybe somebody tries to make it up tomorrow, they'll see everybody else's responses, and I don't want that to happen. If you're worried about some cheating or maybe somebody signs into another person's account to take the quiz for them, turn on collecting email addresses, and that'll limit that a little bit. Then go to quiz, make this a quiz. I typically don't show them correct answers, again, because they're able to tell all their peers that are maybe in period 3 or 4, this is the answer, it's option B or C or whatever. Google doesn't have a good option to be able to sort or shuffle questions and answers very well. And that is how this is all set up. Sometimes I'll wait to release grade if I have some word problems that I'm going to have to go in and grade afterwards. I want them to have it later. They'll freak out sometimes if they get the answer or their quiz back and they see that they missed like 10 points. Well, that's because I just haven't gone in there and graded those 10 points. So I changed that to instead of immediate, I changed it to later. That's up to you. Depends on your test. And same thing with missed questions. You might want them to see what they got wrong. Maybe not. I typically let them see what they got wrong. They can then come up and ask me. Maybe it was an error in the quiz. Who knows? But at least that way they know what they got wrong and maybe can study for that if it's just a small target check. And then later in the week, we're going to have a big test. I want them to immediately see what they got wrong. That is what I do to set up my Google Forms. I usually go to questions, and the first thing I do is I have them type in their either first or last name. Make sure that's required. Add another question, and that's last name. That just helps me sort later. You can always shuffle the order of these if you want last name first and then first name last. Up to you. You can always switch that around when you go to edit your sheets as well, which you can open up right here. And of course, don't leave your form untitled on Friday. Give it some sort of name. That way you can find it later. And if you notice, this still says untitled form. If you just click in that, it'll take the title from down here. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm a teacher at a high school, and this is how I set up all of my forms. If this was helpful, please click that like button so that I know that you enjoyed it. If it was bad, please leave me something in the comments. Or if it was good, leave me something in the comments so that I know what I can do to be better or what is good and to keep around. If you subscribe to the channel, you can see more stuff like this and see some of the other awesome things I'm trying to show my students through YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Hartzler or Twitter at Mr. Hartzler Math. Hope that all of you have a great rest of your day.